Ladies and gentlemen, the world has come to Columbus, Ohio as part of the 17th World Driving Championship. 10 of the finest drivers in all the world are being brought down for our opening ceremonies tonight. This is the most prestigious championship in all the pari-mutuel sports for individual drivers or jockeys. And this marks the first time in more than 2 decades that these great drivers have gathered on American shores to contest this championship. On behalf of the United States Trotting Association, the host organization for this year's championship, and the International Trotting Association, we welcome you to Scioto Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, the men I'm about to introduce have won more than 20,000 races lifetime. They are the champions of the world. First of all, let me call forward from Australia a gentleman who is the 1993-94 Australian champion and winner of the 1992 Aussie Challenge. He has more than 1,500 victories. Started at the tender age of 14, but he has a remarkable streak of more than 9 seasons with 100+ victories. Lance Justice. Our youngest competitor comes from our nearest neighbor, Canada. Daniel Dubé, however, at age 26, is no stranger to international competition. This young Quebecois represented Canada in the Russian Driving Championship, which he won. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Canada, Monsieur Daniel Dubé. Greeting all our drivers here, of course, from Scioto Downs, Ms. Laverne Hill, Mr. Bob Steele, Race Secretary Jim Ewart, Director of Publicity and Public Relations, Mr. Tom White. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, like many of our competitors, he started very young. He at age 16. He's a great trainer in his native France and races not only to sulky but under saddle. Our representative from France, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Monsieur Jean-Claude Allais. Next, ladies and gentlemen from the Netherlands, the 1991 champion, only the first time for that honor for this gentleman. You may remember him. He's raced in Delaware in the Breeders' Crown. Francis Jetboko, a horse that he campaigned here in the United States. In 1992, he was both the Dutch champion and European champion from the Netherlands, Hugo Langeweg. Our next gentleman comes from down under. He's won every major race in his country. He is the former world driving champion, the only former champion of this competition in our field here this year. He won that in 1985 at the tender age of 26. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from New Zealand, Mr. Tony Herlihy. Ladies and gentlemen, our next competitor from Norway is in rather select company. He ranks third in his native country all time in the number of victories at the start of this year with over 3,100. He's won many major stakes, including the Norwegian Derby, his country's most prestigious event. Please welcome from Norway, Hans Petter Tørsen. Ladies and gentlemen, in the country of Spain, harness racing is in but its infancy. That's why this year, headlines were written throughout the continent by this young man who won the European Driving Championship, thus qualifying for this competition. He has already won in this competition this year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Spain's Juan Antonio Riera Rosello. Our next gentleman comes to us from Kiev in the Ukraine. In his native land, he is a harness racing legend, a country once behind the Iron Curtain, which is mad for trotting horses. He is a star. He has won over 1,200 races during his great career. He is our good friend and tovarich, Vladimir Blokin. Ні слава, ні воля. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a gentleman who on the British Isles has won over 1,500 races, the first at the tender age of 15, a man dedicated to spreading the word of standardbred racing across the great British Isles. We hope he's successful in that respect. He won the very first race in this competition this year. Please welcome from Great Britain, Mr. Michael Lord. The current points leader in this competition, which has had two legs. We started the series in Chicago the day before yesterday, racing in the afternoon at Balmoral Park, and in the evening at Sportsman's Park. This gentleman, racing in his own backyard, used, as the Chicago Tribune said, the home court advantage to win a race both in the afternoon and evening. He's the current points leader. He won over 600 races last year to lead all of North America. Our representative here from the United States, Mr. Dave McGee. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The champions of the world who have come here to race 3 races. This is the third of 6 stops in the 1995 World Driving Championship, the 17th such event, which will continue tomorrow at Cleveland, Sunday at the Meadows, and then have its conclusion on the 19th, Tuesday afternoon at nearby Delaware, Ohio. Please cheer for your favorites, and we wish all the gentlemen great and good luck here tonight and a safe trip in each of your 3 starts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all scoring for the World Driving Championship is done on a points basis. The winner of each race receives 17 points. The runner-up receives 12, and then the number of points diminish on down to the trailer who wins 1. Now, the purse money being raced here tonight will be going completely to the owners. The purses that these gentlemen are after have been posted by the member countries who support this competition, including the United States, and the winner of this competition will earn enough money to have won the equivalent of a $400,000 stake. These are outstanding professionals. I think you're going to see some great driving. Gentlemen, once again, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the horses are on the track and prettying to the post this evening's first race. Claiming Pacers Racing 1 mile. Field of 10, there are no changes. Number 1 is Sensam, owned by Robert Burns of Dayton, Ohio. Sam Coven drives. The 2 is Sunsy Oats, owned by Nate Chalmers of Columbus with Del Miller. 3 is Tyson, owned by Charles Park of Xenia for Ron Wallace. 4 is Smoldering Ash, owned by Ron Barker of Chillicothe. Sean Barker drives. 5 is Lightning Creek, owned by Jerry Nyberger of Buckeye Lake. Charlie Neff aboard. Number 6 is My Last Bid, owned and driven by Terry Thomas of Pennsylvania. 7 is Slapstick, owned by Donna Williams of Lebanon. Brent Holland drives. Number 8, Isa General, owned by Steve Smith Sr. of Lebanon. Trent Tharps driving. 9 is Dance Craze, owned by Bill Lambeth of Columbus. Dave Majeski in the back. And the 10, Aberile, owned by Kip Hall of Lebanon. Greg Haston in sulky. One place show behind the gate. They swing into the stretch, and there they go. And they're off, and Lightning Creek first from mid-track for the lead. Far outside, Dance Craze moves away second alongside Isa General. Off the rail came Sensam, and then comes Tyson fifth. Dropping in sixth, Sudsy Oats. On the inside, seventh, it's Aberile. Looking for the seat eighth, that's Slapstick. Into the pocket ninth comes Smoldering Ash, and the early trailer is My Last Bid. Near the first quarter-mile marker in Lightning Creek, since the early pace, Dance Craze is caught uncovered to the outside to second. As a general of the pocket is third. 28-1 is the opening quarter. Along the rail and racing at fourth, Sensam, followed 5 by Tyson. Then to the outside comes Sunsy Oats as he gets underway sixth, and Aberile right at his heels seventh. Slapstick joins the cover flow to the outside eighth. Then to the pocket ninth comes Smoldering Ash, and the trailer is My Last Bid. Into the clubhouse turn they go, and it's the 5, Lightning Creek, with a lead by 2. Isa General to the inside is racing a second. Dance Craze parked for the duration now. To the outside is third. Half and 58 and 4. Sensam buried along the rail fourth. Sudsy Oats with live cover drafting along fifth. Tyson to the inside is locked in sixth. Aberile in the cover flow seventh. Smoldering Ash is buried along the rail eighth as they race down the back stretch with Lightning Creek. A 7-1 shot here on the front end, but Sudsy Oats now to the outside is up a notch, is now second. Isa General is still locked in third, and Aberile is advancing with cover fourth. Sensam a snug hold, locked in fifth. 3/4, 129 and 3. Midway to the final turn, and it's Lightning Creek by 2. Isa General finding racing room now. Setting chase. Sudsy Oats on the outside. Sensam waiting for the super stretch. They turn for home. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. It's Lightning Creek with the lead. He's led the entire mile. Isa General, Sensam, both down to the inside. Sudsy Oats and Aberile to the outside. Into deep stretch. Lightning Creek, Sensam. And Sensam gets up to win it by a half. Trackside, the unofficial winner of the first, using the super stretch to sneak up the inside, Sensam. 9-year-olds on a brave leader from Brady DeBretta. Then trained by Robert Burns of Dayton, Ohio, handled tonight by Sam Coven. First season's victory for the 9-year-old pacer, the mile in 2 minutes, 3/5. Finishing second, number 5, Lightning Creek. Finishing third, number 2, Sudsy Oats. 1:5:2. Track for this evening's second race. First race of the World Driving Championship here at Scioto Downs. Condition charters racing 1 mile, a purse of $2,500, a field of 10. There are no changes. Number 1, he's a trot machine, by Marvin High of Portland, Indiana. Driven tonight, the Frenchman Jean-Claude Hallez. The 2 is Sweet Mesquite, by Claudine and Jack Conway of Nashville, Tennessee. From Australia, the driver Lance Justice. Number 3 is Yellow Creek, by Robin and Patricia Roll, Francis Beard of Ohio. Coming in from Holland, Hugo Laneveg. Number 4 is Noble Leslie, by Mary Jeffers of Illinois. From Great Britain, Mike Lord. 5 is a Magical Proxy, laced by Steve Wisman and Roy Wilson of Ohio and New York. From New Zealand, Tony Herlihy. Number 6, Adele's Victory, owned by Harold McCain of Lebanon. Representing the United States from Chicago, Dave McGee. Number 7 is Tune Me In, held by William Kale of Eaton, Ohio. Representing the Ukraine, Vladimir Blokin. Number 8 is Oaklawn Carrot, held by Jeff Dennis of Wilmington, Ohio. Representing the country of Spain, Juan Riero Rosalo. Number 9 is Adams Exchange, owned by Virgil Lacey and Clarence Levan of Ohio. From Canada, the driver Daniel Dubé. At number 10, Chinese Itch, owned by Charles Brannigan of Jamestown, Ohio. From Norway, Hans Peter Thosfun. That's the field for this World Driving Championship. They're on the backstretch. There they go. The 5-horse, Magical Proxy on a break leaving, and they're off. And from the inside, it's Sweet Mesquite first for the lead. He's a trot machine, came off the rail solidly second. Far outside, Adams Exchange, and slipping through nicely, it's Chinese Itch. Racing fifth on the rail, Noble Leslie. To the inside and sixth, it's Adele's Victory. To the outside and trotting is seventh as they round the upper turn, Oaklawn Carrot. Along the rail and racing eighth as they approach the first quarter, Yellow Crick. Far back ninth, Tune Me In, and we have a horse down at the start, reaching the first quarter mile marker in 29 seconds. Coming to the stretch for the first time out of the outside with the lead, it's the 2 Sweet Mesquite. Now, drivers, you have a horse down to the backstretch, a horse down on the backstretch at the starting point. With the lead, he's a trot machine leading by a length. Sweet Mesquite couldn't clear, is now looking for the seat second. In the pocket and racing a third, it's Chinese Itch as they approach the half. Nearing the half now, the leader, he's a trot machine by a length, and a tight second, Chinese Itch. Adams Exchange right there. Half in 1 minute and 3/5. Off the turn and onto the backstretch. With the lead, he's a trot machine, a length here, and Adams Exchange is now locked in a second. Here comes Chinese Itch to the outside, and swinging 3 wide, Noble Leslie. Trotters begin to bunch up now as they move down the backstretch, and between horses, Noble Leslie. Far outside, here comes McGee with Adele's Victory, and alongside, it's Yellow Crick. Nicely bunched now as they near the 3/4 mile marker, and Chinese Itch now your leader, leads here by 3, 3/4 in 1:33. Midway to the final turn, and Chinese Itch by 4. Inside, he's a trot machine as second. Noble Leslie to the outside is trotting a third. Inside and racing a fourth is Tune Me In. Less than an eighth of a mile ago. That's Oaklawn Carrot closing quickly. And on the front, they'll have to catch Chinese Itch as he opens up on the field here. He's a trot machine. Inside is trotting a second, Noble Leslie. And to the inside, Oaklawn Carrot's laying it out for third, but it's Chinese Itch with Hans Peter Todsfun in front. Ladies and gentlemen, trackside, the unofficial winner of the second race, the first of the World Driving Championship here at Scioto Downs, from post position 10, Chinese Itch. 4-year-old Ohio-bred son of Christus Crown from Limetown, and then trained by Charles Brannigan of Jamestown, Ohio. Very capably driven tonight. Representing the country of Norway, Hans Peter Thosfun. Second race now official. 10-1 Perfecta, $149.80, $149.80. Daily Double 110, $214.80, $214.80. To the backup announcer here at Scioto Downs from the USTA, our very own John Pavlov. John.
Well, thank you very much, Steve. Hans Petter Tolfsen showing his excellent handling of trotters. Of course, in the country of Norway, there are only trotting horses, and it would make sense that he would do well with a trotter. But of course, pacers are going to constitute about half of this series. This is his second win of the series. Now, he will receive 17 points and now has 63. Depending on where Dave McGee finishes, he had 66. The other top finishers in this competition, Jean-Claude Halle now comes to 51 points with his second place finish. Finishing third was Oaklawn Carrot and Noble Leslie fourth. We'll have the revised points for you in just a moment. Making the trophy blanket presentation is Laverne Hill here of Scioto Downs and Mr. Fred J. Noe of the U.S. Trotting Association. So there you have it, the first of 3 of our races. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for our representative from Norway, Mr. Hans Petter Tolfsen. And ladies and gentlemen, hear his national anthem.
Stallions and Geldings racing 1 mile. A field of 10, there are no changes. The one is Just Scoot, owned by Bill Jago and Daryl Hunt of Ohio, Dave Hawk driving. Number 2 is Uncle Will Goddard, owned by Francis Hammond of Kentucky with Keith Haynes aboard. 3 is Charlie's Trap, over the Charles Barrow State and Trotter Range of Indiana for Greg Haston. 4 is Tenton Red, owned by Sam Noble Jr. of Cedarville, Jack Franklin getting the call. The 5 is P.S. Cress, over the Cress Farms of Miamisburg with Brent Holland. Number 6, Guns and Knives, owned by B and Kenny Edwards of Delaware. Kenny Edwards up. Seven is Sharp Falcon, owned by Robert Mosheimer and Peggy Donahue of Ohio. Sean Mayhew driving. From post position 8 is Sir Bain, owned by Charles and Christine Blankenship of Ohio. Eric Lenford drives. Number 9 is Miracle O'Brien, owned by Jave Servison and Billy Toomey of Marion. Del Miller in the bike. And number 10, Eric's Wish, owned by Beverly and Clark of Lockburn. Ryan Holton in the sulky. Win play show, perfect the trifecta, pick 3 wagering. And there they go. And they're off. Powering from the far outside, it's Sir Bain as he sprints quickly for the lead. Alongside a second is Sharp Falcon. From mid-track, it comes Guns and Knives. From the inside, racing a 4th, Charlie's Trap. On the outside, racing 5. As they swing into the first turn, Tenton Red. Off the rail 6th came Just Scoot. On the rail 8th is Eric's Wish as they approach the first quarter-mile marker. Followed closely as they reach that first stop by Uncle Will Goddard. 28 seconds of the opening quarter, and Sir Bain setting the pace here. Leads by a length. On the outside is Sharp Falcon second. Guns and Knives on the inside is racing a 3rd. Inside a 4th to Charlie's Trap. Racing 5th on the outside. Here comes Just Scoot, followed closely 6th by Eric's Wish. Shuffle back 7th, Tenton Red. To the outside 8th, Uncle Will Goddard. To the outside and racing 9th comes P.S. Cress, and the trailer is Miracle O'Brien. Reaching the half with Sir Bain, 19 to 1 shot here on the front, leading by 2. Half and 59 seconds. On the outside, Sharp Falcon, after his second win again, takes a charge at the leader. Here comes Just Scoot to the outside, followed closely by Eric's Wish. Racing 4th. Guns and Knives on the inside, gapping slightly 5th. To the outside 6th, it's Uncle Will Goddard. Along the rail 7th is Charlie's Trap as they continue down the back stretch. And Sir Bain has led the entire mile, but Just Scoot looks him in the eye and challenges the leader second. At the 3/4, 129 and 3/5. Midway to the final turn, and Sir Bain, looking to upset the field here, has led every step of the outside. Just Scoot is right there. Can't put him away inside, and locked in tight is Sharp Falcon. Guns and Knives. Here comes Eric's Wish. Turning for home now, less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch. Hawk going to work on Just Scoot. For the outside, here comes P.S. Cress, and P.S. Cress on the outside taking the lead. Just Scoot is on a break at the wire. It's P.S. Cress in front. Trackside number 5, P.S. Cress, a 3-year-old son of Nobleland Sam from Rose Cress. Over the Cress Farms of Miamisburg, Ohio, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., nicely handled by Brent Holland. Third season's victory for the 3-year-old Ohio bred, tonight's mile in 2 minutes flat. And following a review of the replay, the judges have determined there was no violation on the one Just Scoot. Results will remain as posted. $5-1 Perfecta paying $11.20 to $11.20. 5-1-3 Trifecta paying $30. Horses are on the track and parading to the post. This evening's 4th race, the second race of the 17th World Driving Championship here at Scioto Downs. Condition Charters racing 1 mile, purse of $4,000. Number 1 is Vince, owned by Richard Billman and Helen Osnagle of Jackson, driven by Hans-Peter Tholfsen. The 2, Le Mans Hanover, owned by Marty Lavelle of Columbus, with Jean-Claude Halles. Number 3 will be Ryan Matthew, the also eligible Walt Beaver, the owner. The driver, Tony Hurlier. The 4 is Waterloo Dale, held by John Stewart Jr. of Indiana with Lance Justice. 5 is Past the Ammo, owned by Melody Ross of Powell, Vladimir Glokin, the driver. 6 is Delphi's Oracle, held by Don and Joseph Schwartzenschuber, Mark Lace of Indiana, Mike Lord, the driver. 7 is Super Stealth, owned by the Royal Wire Products of North Royalton, Ohio, handled by Daniel Dubé. 8 is Decoy, owned by Mike Griffin of Bucyrus with Dave McGee. Number 9, Doorbuster, owned by Mike Zeller and Mrs. Robert Enlow of Kentucky with Hugo Laneveg. And the 10 is Over Pride, owned by Allison Hensler of Ralston, driven tonight by Juan Riera Rosello. Gate swings into the backstretch for the start. There they go. And they're off, and it's Vince from off the rail. First for the lead, Lamont Hanover alongside is trotting his second. And from mid-track as they move into the first turn, here comes McGee with Decoy. Racing early fourth, it's Waterloo Dale from the outside of 5. Doorbuster now angling in. On the inside and racing is 6th comes Ryan Matthew. Angling in 7th is Past the Ammo. And that's a gap of 3 lengths, 8th to Over Pride. To the outside, racing 9th, Delphi's Oracle. The trailer is Super Stealth, the opening quarter in 28 and 4. And on the outside, McGee now looking for the trip here. Behind the 2, Lamont Hanover. He won't get it, and now McGee will try to make the front with Decoy. But on the inside, Lamont Hanover won't give it up, and it's Lamont Hanover and Decoy now at the front end. These two are slugging it out. Vince is right behind him, trotting at 3rd. Waterloo Dale with live cover trotting 4th. Inside to 5, it's Doorbuster. To the outside is 6th. Comes Ryan Matthew, the half 58 and 1, and a brisk half here as he move off the turn and down the backstretch. Jean-Claude Hallez with the lead here with the 2, Lamont Hanover. McGee and Decoy to the outside are trotting a second. They'll take their second shot at the lead now. Out of the outside, racing 3rd, it's Waterloo Dale. In the pocket, racing 4th, Vince. And a 3 wide of the outside, 5 now. Here comes Past the Ammo, a very tight packed field here. As they reach the 3/4, they're 3 wide, 129 and 1. And with the lead, Lamont Hanover. He's led the entire mile, but 3 wide of the outside. Waterloo Dale making his bid for the lead. Decoy is still there, a game second, and Decoy has been parked the entire mile. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. It's Lance Justice from Australia. Waterloo Dale here. They have the lead, but Decoy is still there, a very game second. But it's Waterloo Dale and Lance Justice winning by 2 in 1:59 2/5. It's Waterloo Dale. He's a 6-year-old Ohio-bred son of Final Score from Hortz Scott, owned by John Stewart Jr. of Union City, Indiana. Joe Essick Jr., the trainer, nicely handled tonight by Lance Justice from Down Under. 3rd season's victory for the 6-year-old charter, 1:59 2/5.
Australian horses over the years, and we think of pacers, but Lance just told me the very first win of his career was with a trotter Down Under, and this is the fastest trotting mile he's ever driven. A little bit of personal history for here, and a fine effort by Lance Justice. I guess Columbus likes the pokes from Down Under. Greg Norman wins the Memorial, and now Lance Justice wins his first race in this year's World's Driving Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, hear then the Australian National Anthem. World Driving Championship leg here at Scioto Downs after the 7th. Steve, back up to you.
This evening's 5th race, the 3rd and final of the World Driving Championship here at Scioto Downs. Condition pacers racing 1 mile, a purse of $2,000. And the one is Tempered Spur by Peggy Izelov, Columbus, driven by Jean-Claude Hallez of France. 2 is Yogi Yogi, owned by Melby Ober of Cable, Ohio, driven tonight by Hugo Laneveg of Holland. 3 is Sports View, owned by Larry Fullen and George Coleman of Ohio, from the country of Spain, Juan Riero Rossello. Number 4 is Amos Sarandi, owned by Richard Stevens and Selma Sir of Columbus. From Canada, it's Daniel Dubé. Number 5 is Kenny Brook, owned by Joanne Miller of Miamisburg. From the Ukraine, it's Vladimir Glokin. Number 6 is Brave Face, owned by Tom McConkey Waverley. From New Zealand, Tony Hurley. 7 is Anxious John, owned by Bill Griffith of Lexington, Kentucky. From Great Britain, the driver Mike Lord. Number 8 is Our Rusty Special, owned by Dave Cooper of Sabina. From Norway, the driver Hans Peter Folston. Number 9 is Pleasing Kip, owned by Dolly Hensler of Hamilton. From Down Under, the driver Lance Justice. And number 10 is Half Andy, owned by David and Eileen Banger of Columbus, Ohio. From Chicago, representing the USA, Dave McGee. Backstretch, and there they go. And they're off. And it's Sports View from post 3, moving away quickly for the lead. Tempered Spur off the rail is second. From between horses, here comes Anxious John as they swing into the first turn. They're 3 across. Half Andy slips up the pocket quickly for it. Looking to drop in 5. It's Yogi Yogi. Closing the hole quickly, 6th. Our Rusty Special. Angling in 7th comes Amos Sarandi. To the outside, 3 wide and racing 8. As they reach the first quarter mile marker, it's Brave Face, opening panel 29 seconds. Coming through the stretch for the first time, but on the inside, it's Tempered Spur with Jean-Claude Hallez with the lead. On the outside, Juan Riera Rossello with Sports View is right there second. Dave McGee with Half Andy, the pocket is third. Anxious John to the outside with cover for it. In the pocket, racing 5, Yogi Yogi to the outside and racing is 6th. It's Our Rusty Special. In the pocket, buried is 7th, Pleasing Kip, the half in 59 seconds. To the outside 8th now as they move off the turn down the backstretch, Brave Face. Onto the backside, and the trailer is Kenny Brook. Down the backstretch, and it's Tempered Spur with the lead, leading here by a head. To the outside and second, it's Sports View. 3 wide to the outside with a quick burst of speed now. Here comes Our Rusty Special as Hans-Peter Thosven moving quickly now, moving 3 wide with Our Rusty Special, 3/4, 129. Midway to the final turn to the outside, it's Our Rusty Special inside, racing a second, Tempered Spur. And McGee now through with Half Andy. Turning for home, they've lost it 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Tempered Spur continues the lead. Our Rusty Special to the outside. Down to the inside. Here comes Half Andy as McGee gets a bit of gear now. Into deep stretch. It's Tempered Spur, Half Andy, and Half Andy getting up late here. Half Andy in 1:58 and 3/5. Ladies and gentlemen, trackside is the winner of the 5th race, the 3rd and final leg of the World Driving Championship here at Scioto Downs. Number 10, Half Andy, 5-year-old son of Goose from Prairie Joy, owned by David and Eileen Banger of Columbus. Andrew Miller, the trainer, nicely handled by the United States representative Dave McGee. 4th season's victory for the 5-year-old pacer, the mile 1:58 and 3/5. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go trackside now to John Pavlik. Down to you, John.
I'll tell you, this winner had me on pins and needles here this afternoon at Midway Airport in Chicago as everyone else was on the plane ready to come here. He was the last one in. The local guy doesn't know about how heavy the traffic can be in Chicago these days. He's won now 1 race in each of the first 3 legs. I think sometimes the advantage for the home team here comes from the fact the way American horses are trained. Dave also probably knows a little bit more about the passing lane since it first came into vogue in Chicago, Illinois, where he dominates. 630 wins last year, now 3 wins this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave McGee and our national anthem.
Thank you, John. Here are the results now for that 5th race. Number 1, Tempered Spur 2, Yogi. For race number 6, Condition Trotters, racing 1 mile, a purse of $2,000. Field of 10, there are no changes. The 1 is Dr. Daya, held by Andrew Price of Lockburn, Ohio. Del Miller drives. The 2, Overly Precious, over Barbara Schneider of Waynesville with Brent Holland. 3 is Action Rod, over Barbara Hughes and Norman Miller for Dave Myers. 4 is Todd Tabor, laced by Jan Wolf of Bell, Florida with Mel Turcott. Number 5, Bye Bye Tara, held by William Thompson, William Hill, and Darrell Lambert of Ohio. Kelly Shepard drives. 6 is Gussied Up, held by Sproul Burnett, Noble, and Graffit Incorporated. Jack Franklin getting the call. 7 is Honky Tonk Sis, owned and driven by Joe Schwartzentruber of Montgomery, Indiana. 8 is Final Scotch, owned by Dave Nigmeyer of Mechanicsburg for Jeff Fount. Number 9, Power Balance, owned by Ivan Sugg and Stephen Trott of Deschler. Duke Sugg driving. And the 10 is Candy Corn, owned by Marietta Miller of Claypool, Indiana. Greg Hanston in the sulky. Win Place Show Perfecta Trifecta Wagering. Gate swings to the backstretch. Nearing the start, it's post time. And they're off from the far outside. The longer shot of the board, Honky Tonk Sis. Fires quickly for the lead from the inside and trotting a second. It's Action Rod. From the inside at 3, Overly Precious, and away 4th as they move into the first turn. Bye Bye Tara. On the rail, racing 5, Gussied Up. That's a gap of 2 lengths. 6th to Final Scotch. Off the rail 7th came Dr. Daya. Outside racing 8th comes Power Balance. Along the rail in 9th. It's Todd Tabor. The trailer is Candy Corn. The opening panel 30-1. With the lead, it's Action Rod leading here by 3 lengths. Inside, Overly Precious is second. Honky Tonk Sis, she's found a trip on the inside. She's now 3rd. Inside of 4th, the Gussied Up. Moving 5th comes Bye Bye Tara to the outside. Power Balance moving quickly now as he makes his bid for the lead. Coming to the outside, Dr. Daya. Off stride is Final Scotch. As they approach the half, Action Rod calling the shots here, but Power Balance moving quickly on the outside is right there to challenge the leader now. Half in a very comfortable 102 and 2/5 off the turn and down the backstretch. And it's Power Balance on the outside, putting a nose in front. Action Rod digging in for the battle is second. Overly Precious is back 3rd. Then it's a gap of some 4 lengths to Gussied Up. And then comes Honky Tonk Sis on the inside, Dr. Daya. And coming to the outside now, it's Bye Bye Tara. They're at the 3/4 mile marker, and Power Balance could not clear, but continue to lead. 3/4, 132-2. And retaking the lead now, Action Rod. Action Rod with that inside advantage, back on top. And now here comes Overly Precious, pulling the pockets. And Gussied Up dropping in, saving ground. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. And Myers is now going to work on Action Rod to the outside with a late burst of speed. It's Overly Precious. Overly Precious. Action Rod coming right back, but it's Overly Precious by a half. Trackside, the official winner of the 6th race, number 2, Overly Precious, a 3-year-old daughter of Overcomer from Precious Pride. Owned and trained by Barbara Schneider of Waynesville, Ohio. Nicely handled tonight by Brent Holland. Coming in from the County Fair Circuit, this 3-year-old Ohio-bred filly recording her 4th season's victory in record time. The mile in 2:03 flat. And for driver Brent Holland, 2 wins tonight, giving him a driving double. Here's how they fared in the 6th race. The 1, Dr. Daya 5. Overly Precious, the winner. Action Rod 2. Todd Tabor 6. Bye Bye Tara 4. Gussied Up 3. Trainer should read Lloyd Gabbard. Here's the field for race number 7. Pacing Stallions and Geldings, conditioned pacers racing a mile, a purse of $2,000. A field of 10 going postward, and off the rail is Tallapoosa, held by Don Robinson of Westchester. Eric Ledford drives. The 2 is Starific, laced by Robert Burns of Dayton for Sam Coven. 3 Won't Be Denied, owned by Mary Charles of Kettering, Dave Hawk aboard. 4 is Branson, owned by Kane Kaufman of Arcanum with Craig Brimbaugh. Number 5, W.E. Falcon, owned by William Roosh of West Columbia, West Virginia, Keith Haynes driving. Number 6, Thundering Escort, owned by Gene Humphrey of Columbus with Jim Shelton. 7 is Cam Driver, owned by Jack Allen of Circleville for Del Miller. Number 8, KW's Masterpiece, owned by Donna Williams, Terrence Williams of Ohio, Brent Holland drives. Number 9, What a Sum, owned by Carl Gayhart of Fairborn, Joe Essick Jr. in the bike. And the 10 O'Dulac, owned by Terrence Blair of Dayton, Jeff out in the sulky. One place. Gate swings into the backstretch, and there they go. And they're off, and off the rail, Tallapoosa first to leave, far outside. What a Sum sprinting quickly will take command. From between horses, Branson came away third. To the inside, racing a fourth, Won't Be Denied. On the rail and racing a fifth, Starrific. Inside a sixth, Thundering Escort. Then it's a gap of 3 lengths, 7th to O'Dulac, and another 4 lengths, 8th, as they swing to the upper turn, W.E. Falcon. Away 9th came Cam Driver, and the trailer 10th now, KW's Masterpiece. Opening quarter, a brisk 27-4. And What a Sum from post 9. A 7-1 shot here. Has a lead by a length and a half to Tallapoosa. Inside is racing a second. Branson is left uncovered. Part to the outside third. Inside fourth. Won't Be Denied. Starrific follows fifth. And to the outside, Thundering Escort will look to flush cover sixth. O'Dulac is about 3 lengths back, seventh. Then it's another 7 lengths to the outside to Cam Driver. They're at the half, 57-2, and the brisk pace continues on the front end as What a Sum continues to control off the turn down the backstretch, and Branson has been parked every step of the mile. He is racing a second, Tallapoosa in the pocket third. On the rail, Won't Be Denied is fourth, and to the outside, Thundering Escort quickly takes cover fifth. Inside sixth to Starrific. O'Dulac joins cover flow, racing seventh. Near the 3/4 mile marker now, and What a Sum is looking to wire the field here, but Tallapoosa has yet to make his move off the rail second. 3/4 and 1:28, and it's What a Sum by a length. Here comes Tallapoosa, one quick move to the outside the challenge, and Won't Be Denied quickly takes his spot behind the leader. He'll use the super stretch as they turn for home now. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Tallapoosa on the outside will take the lead, and here comes Thundering Escort, a charge to the outside, and Won't Be Denied is looking desperate enough for racing room. On the outside, Thundering Escort gets up to win it. Here's the official winner from post position 6, Thundering Escort, 7-year-old son of Good to See You from Fancy Escort. Owned and trained by Gene Humphrey of Columbus, Jim Shelton in the sulky. Coming off a qualifier, Thundering Escort recording his second season's victory. Tonight's mile, 1:58 for fifths. The complete order finish, the 1 Tallapoosa 2, Starrific finishing 5. Won't Be Denied 4, Branson 10. W.E. Falcon 7, Thundering Escort the winner. Cam Driver 8, KW's Masterpiece 6, What a Sum 3, and O'Dulac 9. In review, 2, 5, 4, 10, 7, 1, 8, 6, 3, and 9. In the upcoming 8th race, drivers change at number 2, Hold Steady, Del Miller. Del Miller drives the 2 Hold Steady in the upcoming 8th, Win Play Show Perfecta, and a Trifecta Wagering. Now looking at the Garden State monitor, you've only 6 minutes on.
Finishing third tonight, although without a victory, about to mount our stand here. He had 27 points tonight. He's third overall in the competition with 66, and third tonight, Jean-Claude Allais. Finishing second tonight, Another one of our winners here. In fact, I believe he took the first event tonight for the international drivers. He scored 31 points tonight. He's also now second in the competition with 77 overall. From Norway, Hans Petter Tolson. Finally, tonight, it took him 3 races to get underway. He used the super stretch to come up on the inside and win it all here tonight. He now has 100 points for the competition. He scores 34 tonight, representing the United States of America. Here's Dave McGee. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the champions. Now, our competition for 1995 has reached the midway point. We have many foreign dignitaries here, and we'd ask that they would be with us here on the trackside to plenty of pretty girls here, David, in Ohio, believe me. Congratulations. Ask our dignitaries. I'd like to introduce or recognize some of the people here from the German Trotting Federation, Dr. Anton Seibold and his wife Navenka, Herr Manfred Peters, who is the executive director of that association, Senor Guillermo Caldente of the Spanish Trotting Association is here as well. Many members of the foreign press, as this event will be widely reported throughout the hemispheres. We thank them for their attendance here tonight. And we thank you most of all and the fine folks at Scioto Downs for having us here.
Purse of $2,000, a field of 9 going postward, and a driver's change of the 2-horse. The one is Grand Debonair, by Jerry Grant of Pleasant Plain, Ohio. Terry Groves driving. 2 is Hold Steady, owned by John Wilkin, a middle point. Driver's change to Del Miller. 3, Vienna's a good stock, owned by Anna Crumley of Clearmont, Florida. Joe Essig Jr. drives. 4 is Classy Eddie, owned by Mark Lacey and Norman Schwartzentruber of Indiana. Joe Schwartzentruber drives. 5, You Owe Us, leased by Earl Ellison of Springfield for Kelly Shepard. 6 is Sycamore Ace, owned by Barbara Turcotte of Coconut Creek, Florida. Mel Turcotte driving. 7 is Kentucky Power, owned and driven by Danny Collins. 8 is Pink Lace, owned by Sherman Lindsay and Don High of Ohio. Jeff founded the bike. The 9, Balmaner, owned by Lloyd Hawk and Pauline of Ohio. Dave Hawk in the sulky. 8th race condition, trotters lining up, moving in. Swinging to the backstretch for the start. There they go. And they're off, and Vienna's good stock from mid-track. First to leave from the inside, Grand Debonair. Far outside, Balmaner. Charge of the gate here is away 3rd. From the inside to fourth, You Owe Us. Angling in 5, Classy Eddie to the inside and trotting as 6th, Hold Steady. Followed 7th by Sycamore Ace. Along the rail in 8th, Kentucky Power. Looking to drop in 9th is Pink Lace. Maybe the first quarter-mile marker, and it's Essig with a 3. Vienna's a good stock, leading here by 2.5, 3 lengths. Opening quarter, a very quick 28-4, and Grand Debonair getting the 2-hole trip is 2nd. Balmaner dropping in 3rd. Inside 4th, You Owe Us. Racing 5, Classy Eddie. Trotters in straight formation now to the inside and 6th, Hold Steady. 7th to Sycamore Ace. Next is Kentucky Power, Pink Lace, the trailer. Swinging into the clubhouse turn, and it's still Vienna's good stock, and he's led the entire mile leads here. A solid 3-length advantage. Inside, Grand Debonair is 2nd. The half in 1 minute and 2/5. Right of the turn, out of the backstretch they go, and with the lead, Vienna's good stock by 3. Grand Debonair to the inside, trotting is 2nd. Balmaner continues 3rd. Inside 4th, You Owe Us. To the outside and moving quickly 5. Here comes Classy Eddie in the pocket. 6th, it's Hold Steady to the inside. Sycamore Ace trotting 7th. Then comes Kentucky Power and Pink Lace. On towards the 3/4-mile marker, and Vienna's good stock looking to wire the field here. Still by 2.5, 3. 3/4, 131 and 1. Grand Debonair is closing steadily on the leader now. 2nd, then it's some 5 lengths to Balmaner to the outside. You Owe Us, and Sycamore Ace advancing up the inside. Turning for home now, less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Vienna's good stock continues the lead, but on the outside, here comes Grand Debonair, and these two are slugging it out together now with Grand Debonair. A full head of steam on the outside will take the lead. Grand Debonair gets up to win it by a length. $136 trifecta, $313.80, $313.80. Trackside is the winner. Off the rail, Grand Debonair, a 4-year-old daughter of Lucky Elmerhurst from Leila's Dowry. Owned and trained by Jerry Grant of Pleasant Plain, Ohio. Nicely catch driven tonight by Terry Groves. Grand Debonair recording her 3rd season's victory, and this just a 1/5 of a second off her career mark tonight. Tonight's mile in 2:02, 1/5. A6, one-place show, perfected, trifecta week. Introducing the horses for race number 9, 9th race. Pacing Stallions and Geldings, racing a mile. Purse of $1,800. The one is BL Black Rain, owned by Michelle Lukens of Lebanon. Rick Heitman drives. 2 is Winning Rival, laced by Craig and Doug Parker for Kelly Shepard. 3 is Porky's Revenge, owned by Alex Bench Jr. for Dave Hawk. 4 is Fritzy Dundee, owned by Bill Fritz of Mechanicsburg with Herbie Brown. 5, Park and Mark, owned by Jerome Grogan of Cincinnati, Trent Tharps aboard. Number 6, Going National, owned by David Page of Washington Courthouse, Keith Haynes drives. 7, Sims Alabama, owned by Ernest G. and Ernest P. Martin, Curtis Spence, and Mark Adams, Scott Mogan driving. 8 is Menagerie, owned by the Ledford Stable with Eric Ledford. Number 9, JB Hot Rod, owned by Ike Gabbard Jr., Waynesville, Jeff found in the bike. And the 10, He's a Vision, owned by Myron Brown of Arcanum, Greg Brumbaugh in the sulky. One-play show, perfect. And the gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. And they're off, and it's the 4, Fritzy Dundee with the 5, Park and Mark. These two away together for the lead. Off the rail came BL Black Rain. Dropping in 4th to the inside, Winning Rival. Scooting through 5, He's a Vision. Far outside, Menagerie gets underway. On the rail, racing is 7th, Porky's Revenge. Followed 8th by Going National. Then it's a gap of 4 to Sims Alabama and the trailer JB Hot Rod. Park and Mark has taken the lead here. Takes the lead by 2. 28-3 is the opening quarter. Fritzy Dundee getting the 2-hole trip tonight is 2nd. Followed by BL Black Rain 3rd. Inside 4th, Winning Rival. And first up 5, here comes Menagerie. Along the rail and racing is 6th as they come to the stretch. That's Porky's Revenge with cover now. And to the outside of 7th comes Sims Alabama, the pocket 8th. He's a Vision. To the outside 9th, JB Hot Rod. Shuffle back now trailing Going National. Reaching the half, and Park and Mark controlling the pace here by a length and a half. Half in 1 minute, 1/5. Menagerie inching up on the outside now, and he'll pressure the leader second. Fritzy Dundee in the pocket is racing a third. Perfect trip fourth for Porky's Revenge. He's second over with cover. Buried 5, BL Black Rain to the outside. 6, Sim Zelabim. Winning Rival is now shuffled back 7th. JB Hot Rod is third over. Make that fourth over, and Cover Flow 8th. 5 pairs of 2 now, and it's Park and Mark continuing to lead. Only a neck now. The 3/4, 129 and 4. And on the outside, Menagerie, the 3-year-old colt has been parked the entire mile, is still there, still game and still second. But Fritzy Dundee, enjoying the inside lane now, is advancing up the rail as they turn for home. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Tharp's now going to work on Park and Mark, and he responds instantly. But on the outside, here comes Fritzy Dundee. Down to the inside, BL Black Rain, but it's Park and Mark at the wire. Son of Tyler's Mark from C. Deucer by Falcon Elmhurst. Oh, by Jerome Gogan of Cincinnati. Jim Florio trains Trent Tharps in the sulky. Second career win for the 3-year-old Maryland bred colt. It's a new lifetime record, 158 3/5. Complete order finish, the 1 BL Black Rain 3, Winning Rival 9. Here's the field for the night's 10th race. Claiming Pacers racing 1 mile. Number 1 is Majestic Joshua. Oh, by John Stone of Holton, Michigan. Trent Tharps driving. The 2, Angus Hanover. Oh, by Tom Andre of Ravenna with Brett Miller. 3 is Kevorkian. Oh, by Ken Spock of Lexington, Kentucky. Cherry Groves driving. 4 is Shadwell. Oh, by George Felton of Springboro for Greg Haston. Number 5, 110 Baker Street, by Ernest Lane of Mansfield for Jeff Fout. 6 is Espo, by Chet Debris of London for Eric Ledford. 7 is Happy as a Lark, on the divid by Sam Coven. The 8, Wash Beneva, by Steve Moore of Carlisle, Joe Essig Jr. Number 9, Frisky Zilby, by Betty Benner of New Lebanon, Del Miller in the back. And the 10 is Pace Made, by Lisa Fuller of Columbus, Frenchie Fuller in the sulky. One play show perfected. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. They're off and pacing Espo from the outside, Shadwell from the inside. These two away together. From the inside, Angus Hanover is third. Early fourth, 110 Baker Street. Off the rail, 5th, Majestic Joshua. Sliding through 6th came Pace Made, and it's a gap of 3 lengths. 7th, Kevorkian. Happy as a Lark. Right behind him is 8th. Next on the list is Wash Beneva and the trailer Friskies. Albee. Reaching the first quarter-mile marker, and Ledford has Espo on the front end, leading here by 2. Opening quarter, 29 and 1. To the outside, here comes Fout with 110 Baker Street, and 110 Baker Street putting in some steps here and goes off stride. And that puts Espo right back in charge again. Shadwell to the inside as a patient second. And 110 Baker Street catching right back quickly is back in contention third. Angus Hanover sits tight fourth. Kevorkian on the inside along the rail is Majestic Joshua. Reaching the half, and with the lead, it's Espo. Half in 1 minute, 1/5. Off the turn and down the back stretch. Espo continues the lead here by a length. And right behind him, second. As they move down the back stretch, it's Shadwell. To the outside and racing at third, 110 Baker Street. 3 to the outside. Here comes Frenchie with Pace Made. And right behind him, it's Wash Beneva. Angus Hanover to the inside is racing as 6th. Happy as a Lark is 7th. And Majestic Joshua, odds-on favorite here. A wall of pacers in front of him. He's buried. 8th on the inside. 3/4, 131. Midway to the final turn, and with the lead, Espo. He'll be tough to beat at the front end here. To the outside, Pace Made. But Shadwell has yet to get the call to the inside as they turn for home now. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Espo digging in for the battle. And Shadwell is waiting for racing room. And here he comes, Majestic Joshua to the inside. Into deep stretch. Espo, Angus Hanover, Majestic Joshua, but Espo fights him off in 2 minutes and 2. A Beams Eagle from Georgia Tripp. Held and trained by Chetbury of London. Nicely handled by Eric Lundford. Espo recording his 5th season's victory. The mile 2 minutes and 2. Second, number 1, Majestic Joshua. Third, number 2, Angus Hanover. And fourth, number 4, Shadwell. 6-1, 2-4. Tenth race now official. Perfecta, 6-1, $17.80, $17.80. 6-1, 2-4, Superfecta, $362 even. Was 5th. Top down, 238, 491, 76, 10-5.